will the girl make a high value man wait? Depends on the high value man and his behaviors and how she feels around that guy. Why do you think like a lot of DJs or a lot of rappers and these kind of guys get a lot of women, or rock stars and all this stuff, they get women? Well, it's because like, look at a rapper's music videos in his life. Like there's women around, he's always talking about like fuck bitches and get money and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like if a girl were to go to hang out with Tyga, Tyga's like a famous fucking rapper, right? Do you think a girl's gonna go on a date with Tyga and expect to have 5 dates, 10 dates? Or with like Dan Bilzerian? No. I'm not saying you would push it to this extreme, but you would know, I could probably get away by acting like this, and this up until a certain limit with this dude. That's like that for everybody. So the girl kind of knows unconsciously based on your behaviors, based on like the way the interaction goes, like if you talk about things a certain way, if you act a certain way, and your behaviors and your mannerisms portray a certain man, she's gonna fall into that frame if she's attracted to you. So if I'm the super formal dude, and I'm talking about my last relationship and how, you know, me and my last girlfriend, we took it super slow. I think the first 5 dates were just like, we met out and, you know, she was a really good girl and ended up being an amazing relationship, and I thought she was an incredible person and I really respected her and the relationship. If I'm telling a story like that to a girl that I'm on a first date with, and let's just say I said that story, and then let's say we're also hanging out and I'm talking about my friend at some point, and I'm like, yeah, my one friend, he actually got kicked out of the club the other night. He ended up fucking this girl in the club, right? He's like a playboy, but he's like a dirty like douchebag guy. Like, I don't know, like he's like, this dude will just like fuck whatever, you know? But I mean, I've known him since we were young, so like I brought him out, whatever. But yeah, he got kicked out of the club the other night. Those 2 stories I just mentioned, I'm telling the girl, hey, listen, I will heavily judge you for having one night stands. I'm giving you guys extreme examples in these stories to showcase this thing. But what you guys need to understand is that anytime you're in an interaction, the way you look, the way you act, the kind of filter you have on yourself when you're talking, the topics that you talk about, the way that you portray certain behaviors or mannerisms in a either positive or negative light, all of this information is just being embedded into her brain while she's interacting with you. She's going into the interaction, complete stranger. You're coming into the interaction, and the more that she interacts with you, she is slowly just gathering information. How should I be behaving around this man to get this man? Assuming she's attracted to you. Like, let's say you're an attractive dude, you know how to run a good date, and like, if you guys spend time, she becomes more attracted to you. If that's the case, she's slowly analyzing you through your behaviors, your mannerisms, the way you communicate, the stories you tell, the things you say, your judgment about things, the way the environment interacts with you, the way you talk to other people. She's slowly just gathering how I need to behave around this dude to get this guy. Let's just say hypothetically, if you want to actually get the girl in the first 1, 2, 3 dates, I would say you stay away from having a super formal interaction. What does that mean? Well, if we go to a 5-star dinner and I meet her at the restaurant and we just sit across from the table, and the whole time I'm just talking about my professional work life and my resume, and I'm talking about my past relationship in the same light of the previous story, and I talk about how my friend's a douchebag for doing blah, 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 blah. I'm just showing the girl, if you're too sexually promiscuous, I'm gonna judge you for it. If you do something that's like unacceptable to my standard, I'm gonna judge you for it. If you do this or this, or you behave this way, I'm gonna judge you for it. And on top of that, you're just setting the tone for her of how to behave. But here's the other thing, you don't wanna be on the complete other side of the spectrum either. There's a balance to it. Like, you wanna be mature, you wanna be not professional, but like, you want to be a grown-ass man on the date, I think. You know, like, I'm not gonna act like I'm a fucking horny 19-year-old that's just talking about sex the whole date, because that's almost like, that's too much on the other side of the spectrum. So there's a balance to it, but just understand that the girl will feel judged based off of the way that you run the interaction. So will the girl make a high value man wait? Depends on the high value man and his behaviors and how she feels around that guy, right? Why do you think like a lot of DJs or a lot of rappers and these kind of guys get a lot of women, or rock stars and all this stuff, they get women? Well, it's because like, look at a rapper's music videos in his life. Like, there's women around, he's always talking about like fuck bitches and get money and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like, if a girl were to go to hang out with Tyga, Tyga's like a famous fucking rapper, right? Do you think a girl's gonna go on fucking a date with Tyga and expect to have 5 dates, 10 dates? Or with like Dan Bilzerian? No. Like, Dan Bilzerian's at a level where, I think he said it in his book at one point, he brought the girl to his bedroom without saying a word, and he tried to just escalate to sex, and at some point there was resistance, so he just like kicked the girl out of the bedroom. Like, that's the kind of level he's at because of his life that he's portrayed. Okay, again, extreme example, but I'm just showing you guys, like, the way you act around women, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you communicate, it does something to the girl. And one last thing to point out. So if you act like the really high value dude, but you also act like husband material or really good boyfriend material, yeah, the girl's gonna make you wait, because like she sees you and she's like, this dude could be my husband. He's really attractive, he makes this much money, like he has all the elements of a provider, plus he's attractive, and I really like this guy. I think she's gonna hold off. There's a balance, right? Like too much of the fuckboy, you're not gonna get laid. Then there's like a sweet spot where you can still be attractive, but you're not so much of a fuckboy, but there's a nice balance to it, and you could end up closing first date, second date. And then there's like all the way into the provider area category where the girl is gonna make you wait because she feels like there might be judgment, or she sees like a really good potential future with you. There's like a whole spectrum. It's not a set answer. Will all girls make a high value dude wait? No, because there's different levels of high value.